Alright, hi. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well. I thought I would take some time to talk a bit about this last year, 2023, to kind of look back on how it was, on lessons learned, so to say, and what I have planned for the next year. And I don't even want to make it so much about me because I don't think I'm that important, to be honest. But still, I think maybe you're interested in my thoughts, and I'm gonna try to make it abstract so that it could be useful to you as well and your life. But also, what I want to do is obviously share my thoughts with you, but also encourage you to do the same, because I think it's a great practice to look back on the year when it's New Year's, to maybe take a pen and a paper and write down certain things that you learned about yourself, about the world, certain highlights, stuff that really went well, things that weren't so good maybe and that you want to improve on. You can do it kind of like free journaling, I feel like, but I think it's a very valuable time to look back, because otherwise you're kind of just like on autopilot, and sometimes the most important lessons are the ones that you have to remember over and over again. And at least I tend to forget sometimes. I'm not that great at recalling stuff that I remembered, or that like lessons learned. I tend to forget them, unfortunately. And I didn't really prepare a script or something. I didn't write anything down, so this is just gonna be me freestyling a bit, because I felt like this way it's more organic, it's more real in a way, but also it might be a bit unstructured, so I'm sorry for that in advance. Again, I encourage you to do that, to do, maybe it's even better to do it monthly, to do kind of like a monthly recap. How well did the month go? And if you don't do the monthly thing, at least do it once a year. And what you can also do is kind of look at different categories which are important, which could be health, wealth, relationships, and happiness, I guess. You could classify it like that, technically. And maybe I could use this as well as like a guiding principle for my own recap. I can share some thoughts, and I'm going to leave out maybe some stuff that isn't relevant to you, and I don't even want to go into that much personal detail because it's not relevant and not that interesting, but sometimes I'm going to add some personal detail for sure as well. So let's start with health. I think this year has been good so far. I mean, I'm really happy and grateful that I don't have any major health problems currently, at least. I mean, there's some stuff like my eyes aren't great, and I'm actually currently considering doing like lasering them, doing a laser procedure, because the glasses are annoying to me, and I would enjoy being able to swim. That's a sport I like a lot, but I don't really do it as much. And I don't really, back in the day I used to use contacts sometimes, but they make my eyes dry and I don't enjoy wearing them. So either I stay with the glasses or I do the eye lasering thing. And also my glasses, sometimes I feel like the glasses aren't great. I see like artifacts and stuff, they become dirty, and they're surprisingly annoying to maintain and also expensive actually. And so I think it might be a good investment to do the eye lasering thing, but I'm a bit scared as well, because by nature I have pretty dry eyes as well. And if I couldn't focus in like on small text or something, this would kind of like destroy my life, honestly. So it's a bit anxiety inducing, but I might do it. And I've been postponing doing this for like a year or so, which is pretty crazy. And then I have allergies and stuff like this, which isn't great, but it's also not terrible. Some skin problems, but it's manageable so far. I went to the dentist like a month ago, which I was a bit scared of because I'm always a bit scared of cavities, and I haven't been for 2 years, but I didn't have any cavities, which is great. So yeah, I'm really immensely grateful for my health being the way it is, and I hope that it will continue this well. But you never know, right? You could have some kind of cancer at any point. You could have heart problems, and I gotta also admit, I don't really go to the doctor that often. Like having like a general checkmate. I don't know if ever I made like a general check of my health. But honestly, I'm a bit of a hypochondriac, so I'd rather not know instead of knowing too much. So whether my heart rate is too high, or my heart pressure or my blood pressure is too high or too low, or whether my heart functions well or my arteries are clogged or not, it's kind of, I do like the typical man tactic of ignoring it until it becomes really bad. So it's not great, and maybe this is something I should change soon, is to have more frequent doctor visits to just do a checkup. This would certainly be good. But I feel like back in the day, I feel like, I don't know, and this is maybe a bit of a sad thing, but I feel like I wasn't worth it to check myself, right? Yeah, I think this is something women do better. They're more careful about themselves, and they're like, this is like what was it? I think of Nivea, this brand. It's like, because I'm worth it, or is it Maybelline Yade or something? But there's this one slogan of women's beauty products, which is because I'm worth it. And honestly, for me, it didn't always feel like I'm worth it, that I don't know, if I have a bad disease, I'm gonna die from it, and it's not worth it, or I'm not worthy enough to take good care of my health, I guess, in some way. Maybe that's a bit of a weird take, but I guess it's a bit of a problem. And also here in Switzerland, every doctor visit you have to pay yourself out of pocket. So admittedly, if I went to the doctor every month, it would cost me like a few $1,000 or francs. So I guess I'm a bit hesitant in this regard, but I guess in the future I want to be, I mean, back in the day when you're 20, you think, I don't know, I'm going to die when I'm 30, I guess, whatever, who cares? But now when you turn 30, you think, actually, maybe I do care, and maybe I do think living isn't that bad, so maybe I should take care a bit more. And in some instances, I was really careless with my health, and I do regret it, I guess, in some sense, but whatever. I think another thing that is interesting and learning is coming back to like the eye lasering thing, how I'm been postponing doing this. It's crazy how little time you have, and how quick time passes, and how little you can actually cram in one day. I don't know why, but I think just recently I really recognized how you can't really do that much. And at work I always have a huge laundry list of things to do, and it only becomes bigger. And it's crazy how you sometimes have certain things you should be doing, but it takes you 2 years to actually do them. For example, there's some expenses that I gotta send to work, but I haven't done it for like 1 year. I just couldn't find the time. And similarly, it's crazy how easy it is to postpone things and postpone things and postpone things. And I think there's a danger in this as well, because you might end up postponing important things over and over and over, and doing just the urgent things. And there's this pretty good matrix of Stephen Covey and 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which differentiates between urgent things and important things. And you can't always only do the urgent things. You gotta take time to do the important things as well, and prioritize them as well. In some way, I read somewhere, I think it's a good saying, like you might over exaggerate what you can do in 1 year, but you might overestimate what you can do in 1 year, because you can't do that much. And especially in 1 week or 1 day, you really can't do that much. Like going to work, working out, that's 1 day. That's it, sorry. And there's not really room for projects and all this kind of stuff. And at the same time, you might underestimate what you can achieve in 5 years. I don't know if that's true, but that's what the saying said, so maybe there's something to it. I think nowadays I do believe that life is extremely short. I've always known that in some sense, but now it becomes more and more apparent. And there's only so many projects that you can do in your lifetime. And I think there's not an infinite amount of times where you can reinvent yourself, right? And in a sense, this can be a bit of a daunting realization because in a certain way, every time you make a choice for like a career or like a partner, there's obviously many other choices that are just not there anymore, right? You have these, sorry, there's a bit of rain outside, I hope you don't mind, but you always will have certain sunk costs, and that's a bit scary. And at the same time, you can't always reinvent yourself. You can't be everything, right? I think for me now, I think the window of opportunity to having children even is closing down. And at some point it will be closed down and I won't have kids. And to some this is a scary thought, and I will probably never become, I don't know, a politician, and I will never, I don't know, have visited all the countries that maybe I thought I would visit. So all of these different things you thought you could do, you will notice, no, it's probably not gonna happen. I sometimes I had dream of becoming like a musician, composing music, making beats. I think that window of opportunity is just not there anymore in some sense, because it's not only the time, it's also the energy. For me, it's of course time management is key, but energy management is just as important. And I notice I just don't have that much energy. Maybe you could say anymore, but I feel like I've never been a person who has had that much energy and vitality. How do I know that? Because I compare to myself to my girlfriend, who has, I think, 10 times more energy, it feels like sometimes, than me. If we're on vacation together, she's doing stuff, she's working, she's moving, and at the end, for me, it's like, I'm tired, I want to sleep, and she still has energy to continue going. So it's crazy how much more she has than me. But also it feels like different things drain energy differently. And for me, I know certain things like loud music and big crowds of people tend to drain my energy exponentially quicker. And I think I would urge you and encourage you to also become an expert to the extent possible at your own energy levels. Really become keenly observant about what gives you energy and what drains you energy. And if it's like me, something like half an hour of small talk that I don't feel like doing might drain my entire energy, not only for this day, but even for half of the next day. So it's crazy. So that also means that with this limited amount of time and energy, you can't really do everything. And thinking that you can be good at your job, have a fulfilling family life, and also do all these creative projects, it's just not realistic. It's not gonna work. So you have to limit yourself and focus yourself. If you really want to have 10 creative endeavors at the same time, you have to cut back on the social time and the relationship time. And that's something I think that's really important to realize. I could ramble about this for forever, but I think it's interesting and relevant because you have to remind yourself on this. And I think this is something you should journal on as well, as the stuff that gives you energy. And also you should know which times of the day you have good energy, which times of the day you have bad energy or low energy, and what you can do to increase your energy. For instance, for me, I found out that taking a walk outside over lunchtime and also making a power nap can be really beneficial to my energy levels, whereas being in super loud environments will be very detrimental to my energy levels. And it's going to be really hard to get back to my good energy levels if I'm down at one point. And I gotta admit, what I've been using as a crutch quite heavily is caffeine. So not only coffee, but also energy drinks and also coffee, Coca-Cola, Coke Zero, which isn't great, obviously, and I think it's probably gonna have some long-term consequences. Even the diet stuff, all the sweeteners, the artificial sweeteners, it's not great, and it's probably some kind of negative repercussions that's gonna happen from that. All I'm trying to say is, yeah, I think this is something I want to do better next year, is getting rid of those crutches in terms of caffeine, which do help me with my energy levels, and probably I have a low levels of ADHD where this kind of caffeine can help me as well. But I think I want to get better at removing instances that drain my energy. It's not gonna perfectly be possible as long as I have a normal job and everything. And still, I think this is something that's very important, energy levels and how little you can actually do in your lifetime. And this is why you should really try to focus. And I mean, it's fine. I think at some point I was pretty early and quick in accepting the lives I couldn't have lived and I didn't live. Like I was never like a crazy partier or something, and I really didn't go to many music festivals. But if I'm honest with myself, it's also not something I really want to do. Especially now, I don't feel like doing. I mean, there's always a bit of a FOMO even in myself, like, oh, maybe I should have done more of this, and maybe I should have done more of this. But luckily, I can say I'm pretty good at accepting the life I have now, and I'm pretty happy with the life I have now, honestly. I think it's pretty good, and I'm pretty happy that I could find like friends and a partner who's accepting of the way I am. And yeah, going maybe from health to relationships, even though I was moving a bit all over the place, I think I'm pretty happy with where I am in this regard. I have some good close friends that I meet regularly that I really have a lot of common with. I think at work I also have some people that I really enjoy talking to. Of course, it's not the same work friends and private friends, but yeah. I mean, if you're an outside person looking at myself, if you're a very social person, you could say, wow, this must be pretty lonely, the life he's living. But for myself, it doesn't feel that way. And I could, if I wanted to, I could expand my social circle, but I don't even have the energy or the time to have like a huge social circle. So I gotta say, at the moment, I'm happy with it. Of course, I'm always eager to meet people who are a bit out there, who are a bit crazy in the sense of creative, who have crazy projects that they're doing. I feel like sometimes I don't know enough of these people. I wish sometimes I had more people in my life who were a bit more creative and a bit more, I don't know, similar to me in the sense that they want to do lots of stuff, but then again, it's fine and I can entertain myself really well. And also I think in my romantic relationship, I think we're close to being 10 years together, which I think is an achievement in some sense, even though of course there's been some bumps in the road and a while where we weren't like 100% together. But I gotta say, I'm actually kind of proud with myself, because sometimes I feel like my character is a bit fickle, and as I tend to not really have a very rigid personality, but more of a all over the place personality, very creative and kind of out there, maybe not that creative, but whatever, kind of, I tend to forget, okay, how can I put this? I feel like my personality isn't very stable, and like the person I wanted to be a year ago is not the person I want to be now. However, I'm still in this relationship, even though of course everybody has like their moments of doubts or whatever, but I think those moments have reduced in frequency and heaviness. I'm sorry for the siren outside. That's not the right word, siren, the whatever, Krankensirene is what we call it in German. So what I want to say is I'm really proud of almost going strong for 10 years. And I gotta say to everybody who's maybe at the start of a relationship or whatever, I think it's worth it to stick with it. Of course, you gotta choose somebody who you're compatible with, but really don't go for, I don't know what, like only the feelings and the sex or something, and like you go for somebody who shares values with you and who you're really comfortable with spending time with. I think that's, I guess, a lesson learned from me, and I did do that, and I'm really grateful for it, because I feel like it does get better. Like most things in a relationship do get better when you age and when you spend more time together. Intimacy can become better. The way you know each other becomes better. You're just more comfortable with each other. Of course, there's still stuff that gets on your nerves, but I think I'm very acutely aware of not taking the other person for granted or being passive aggressive, because I've seen this quite a bit in my own family, and this is something I never want for myself, is resentment building and being mean to each other and just treating the other person like they're not important. And I'm not perfect in this regard either, but I think I'm very, very aware of not becoming resentful, because that's something super sad when you see older couples and just a small thing might happen which is completely insignificant, and one of them just explodes and is super angry, and all this pent-up resentment is just always there, and it's so sad, and I never want to become like this. And I think so far we've done a pretty good job at not becoming like this, and I'm kind of proud that next year we're gonna celebrate our 10-year anniversary, and I don't know, there's something to be said for that, and I don't need like a harem, and I don't need novelty all the time, and in a way, yeah, I love my partner more than ever, and I'm really glad that she's there and that she accepts me. And of course, like just last week we had a bit of a difficult dispute, but we ended up talking about it, and this is really important, that you never go below a certain threshold where you start to really build up resentment and hate, but that you can keep talking to each other like adults. That's really important, that both people are adults and can separate their emotions also from their immediate instincts from the love and the base that they build together. And whatever, I could talk about this for a long time. I'm not a relationship guru or expert, but yeah, I'm glad it worked out this way, and I'm really grateful for having like a beautiful, loving, caring, funny partner who's also similar to me in many ways. But yeah, that's just one aspect. What else? Career, I don't even want to talk too much about it. It's kind of a boring topic, but I think I feel happy where I am currently. I think nowadays work is never as stable as it tended to be back in the day. And of course, I think like 1 or 2 years ago when I started at that job, I was more stressed. I worked overtime more, and now I feel like I'm a bit more comfortable. I was able to build up my team a bit more, and in many instances I also catch myself being not very professional, in a way that I could be better in a leadership position. I could be more, I think being a manager, and I have more managerial tasks nowadays, is pretty hard, because you can't micromanage. At the same time, you can't just let everything go and let everything happen the way it is. You have to be very aware of the personality of the people you work with. How do they need to be talked to? Do they have a big ego? Should you try to support them, or should you try to leave them alone, while at the same time trying to do the best for the company? It's really hard, and I don't claim I have the perfect answer, but I think the year has been successful in that I got promoted, but that's not important to me. But I have a better vision for my future, for my career. I do enjoy my job for the most part, and I can see myself working for another 20, 30 years easily in this area. And back in the day, like I don't know, when I was in my early 20s, I couldn't see myself working in a corporate setting for a longer time. So what I learned is every company is dysfunctional in many ways. That happens automatically because humans are flawed and are dysfunctional. So it's going to exponentially increase with companies and different incentives and people who work really hard and some that kind of don't really work that hard. And there's a natural human tendency to not really work as much and not do as much and find yourself positions that you can kind of slack off. And that's a normal thing that happens in every company, and you can't be mad about it. I think you just have to find a profession and a company where you can live with the dysfunctionality, you can accept it, and you can maybe even thrive in it. That's kind of the challenge, but not everybody can achieve every career. And this whole word of, I mean, most people don't have careers. Most people have jobs, and maybe even myself, and that's totally fine. I would just encourage you to also be kind of grateful for your job in a way, because it's not evident to be given a salary in a way. I guess that's maybe my bootlicker slave mentality, I don't know. But making money yourself as a freelancer is really hard, actually. It's actually, I find, significantly harder, or being self-employed or having your own store. You have to do so many things, and I find it to be exponentially harder than being in a company. And for instance, making money with YouTube or something, it's incredibly hard. I mean, whatever I'm doing here, it's not nearly enough to, even if I did it full time, I wouldn't be able to really pay my bills, probably. Maybe because I'm not that good at it, I don't know. But most of the digital stuff or whatever else you want to do, trading or doing drop shipping or whatever, it's incredibly hard, and maybe it doesn't even work. So maybe if you're young and you're thinking about doing it, try it yourself, but you're gonna find it's actually much harder than you maybe did think, and it's probably too hard. And what I would rather recommend you do is work in a company where you can learn something, and then eventually you can see if you want to do the same thing as a freelancer. I think that's the more realistic way of being self-employed, but I don't know for sure. Whatever. I can talk about this at another point if you want me to. What else? I think maybe the YouTube channel, now that I talked about it as well. What am I gonna do with it? To be honest, I don't really have a really strict plan, but I want to make videos more regularly again. I kind of started doing it more. It's pretty hard, I gotta admit, in parallel to my job, which is pretty intense and strenuous, but I do want to continue making videos because I do enjoy it. Is it always going to be like classical ASMR videos? I don't know, because I think I previously said I sometimes struggle a bit with enjoying ASMR myself. I still watch Maddie Tingles a lot and some selected creators, but I still do enjoy unintentional ASMR more. And this is why I feel like my channel is a bit evolving. If you, of course, there's my casino videos, which maybe you hate, but I gotta admit, I kind of enjoy doing them. It's not something super special, but sometimes just to relax, I play a bit. And if you're worried about me being addicted to gambling, I can assure you this is not the case, because for some reason, luckily, I don't have the genes that make me susceptible to gambling. I don't know, maybe I'm not greedy or whatever, or I'm a bit too intelligent in terms of my odds. But as you can see, I only bet $1 or $5, and I never felt the urge to play to make money. It's always been more about relaxing and finding relaxing voices. That's what I enjoy doing, and not so much the money. I don't give a damn about, because I'm losing money, obviously, in the long term. That's just a mathematical law. And yeah, in any case, I luckily don't become addicted. Maybe it's because I don't bet a lot of money, but I never felt like I should be betting $50 or something, because the bets are stacked against me, so why would I do that? So you don't have to worry about this, but I think at least for a while I'm gonna sometimes continue making videos like this. And I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do next year, but I think I want to do more videos again, and maybe also more elaborate videos again. But at the same time, about the whole YouTube thing, it stays a hobby of mine. It's nothing I want to do like super seriously, and it would probably stress me out if I knew that I had to earn a living with making YouTube. I'm happy that I'm not in a position that I'm dependent on YouTube money or something, because it's very fickle. And you know, I watch a lot of YouTube and a lot of podcasts, and it's very rare that you see like sustainable long-term success stories in this area. What happens more often is creators who have their peak and then they go down, and it's kind of hard on your mental health too. If you look at creators like even PewDiePie or even smaller ones who at some point make it kind of big, oftentimes they stop making videos because they don't enjoy it anymore. Even though I saw Massage ASMR makes more ASMR videos again, and he made it his full-time job again, which I think is a nice thing. At the same time, it's not for me, I think, and I don't want to make it my full-time job. I'd rather make, I don't know, sometimes I would enjoy working more. Maybe that's a bit of an unhealthy thing, but sometimes I feel like I would enjoy building like a startup again or something at some point, which is something that's a bit crazy, but I do enjoy working in some sense, and I do enjoy what I do for the most part. Sometimes not so much. Okay. So I guess in some way I did cover health and career or wealth, and what else was there? Relationships. I didn't cover happiness. That's of course the difficult one, but as you could maybe hear, I think in terms of happiness I'm not so bad. I don't take any antidepressants or something, which I think is good. I don't take any anti-anxiety medications or whatever. So I don't take any anti-ADHD medication. So I'm kind of proud of that, I guess, in some way. I think if I took like antidepressants, I would probably be a bit happier or whatever. But I kind of like myself in the way that I am. Sometimes a bit melancholic or whatever. I don't have a lot of enthusiasm by nature, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe that's just me. And yeah, like a day like today makes me pretty happy. Right now it's like storming outside, it's raining all the time. The sun hasn't been out for weeks and months. There's lots to do and whatever. There's not really some kind of vacation that makes me that happy, but it's just like living a normal life with routines, doing stuff that I enjoy, having a few hobbies I enjoy. Right now I'm playing Octopath Traveler 2 on the Steam Deck, which is cool. And just having like some, I don't know, watching some kind of cooking shows, which is pretty relaxing to me. Having a simple life is what makes me happy, I think, not having some kind of grandiose life. And I'm okay with that. And I think I'm also come to terms with not having children. I think that's also something that gives me peace. And I don't feel any FOMO, currently at least. And I haven't ever felt any kind of FOMO in terms of having children. And that's something that makes me happy. I've been very fortunate to be able to do 2 longer trips this year. One to Japan in summer, or in May, which was awesome, for 3 weeks, which I'm very fortunate that it was the second time I've been in Japan. And an almost 3-week trip to Norway as well, which was awesome as well. One of my favorite countries, the most beautiful nature. And we had a great time, a beautiful time. And luckily our bus is still going strong, and it was beautiful as well. So yeah, I had some of the greatest vacations, and just recently, like 2 weeks ago, we were in France, in Alsace, which was beautiful as well for like 5 days. Yeah, I enjoy traveling with my girlfriend. We don't go to hotels. We generally do kind of like a freestyle traveling with a bus, sleeping in the bus or whatever, even though we're maybe going to sell the bus soon because it's getting a bit old and expensive to repair. But yeah, I'm honestly, and that's the cool thing about life right now, I don't mind if life just continues this way. I like my life being simple. You never know how the future is going to be. Maybe I'm going to lose my job, and maybe I'm going to become depressed. Maybe, I don't know what, my relationship is going to get broken. Some stuff might always happen, and especially for me, sometimes my personality changes and I feel like I become a new person. But I do feel pretty good in this trajectory. I think, again, I want to become more bold a bit. I want to become better in all areas. And I think this is important for my motivation, that I recognize that I can improve in my job, in my skill set. I can improve in me being a partner. I can improve in my health. By the way, I forgot to say that I've been working out 3 times a week diligently, and going to the sauna, which I think helps a lot for my mental health as well, and my health in general, which has been very important to my well-being. But that's something that's kind of so corny because everybody does it, so whatever. But I'm pretty happy that I was able to stick to it and make it a habit. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. But yeah, enough about me. I guess maybe me talking about these things helps you to kind of narrow down what you've been doing. Also think about what you've been grateful for this year. I think that's really important. But how about you do the same and think about your health, your career and wealth, your relationships and love, and your happiness, and what you can do in these areas to improve yourself. You can also look at where do I stand currently and where do I want to stand. And then define measures that you can then ideally schedule in your calendar or something and do them, because do things now is probably better. Don't wait forever. And yeah, we have very limited time and very limited energy in this world. And if you really want to do something, do it and don't put it off. I guess it's kind of a cheesy, corny message too, but I think it's correct. And I'm really grateful for the life I have currently. I guess that's my message. And yeah, I'm grateful to be alive, even though my life isn't always simple, and I probably have a below average mental health genes, I guess, or predispositions. But I can't say for sure. I don't know exactly. I think there's some other things where I changed my mind a bit on. I mean, I think back in the day I thought I really knew stuff. Now I think I don't know that much anymore. I try to see things less black and white and see more the nuances and everything. I don't even want to be considered as smart. I think back in the day I thought it would be cool to be considered smart. Now I'd rather be happy and content than smart and successful or whatever. But yeah, so far it's good, doing good. I hope it stays this way. I think maybe even though those videos are not that successful, I'm gonna maybe make another video like this at the end of 2024. Let's hope I'll make it till then and the channel still exists. Who knows? I really appreciate you being here, honestly. And you can tell me if you think I should do other types of videos. But also, yeah, I'm probably not gonna make like classical trigger ASMR videos because I don't really enjoy them that much, and it's really, I don't want to buy all this kinds of these props because, not because they're expensive, but I don't want to have all this stuff. What am I gonna do with it? Throw it away afterwards? I don't know. I kind of currently don't enjoy these videos so much, so maybe I'm not gonna do it. But still, tell me what you think, so maybe I'm gonna try to do it. I'm really grateful for everybody here and the people who subscribe to the channel and follow my videos. I don't even think, I don't want to be so important. I'm not an important person in this regard, and who cares about me? But still, if you care about me, thank you, I guess. But yeah, I want you to be happy too. I really hope you are. And if there's anything I can do to help you be happy, please tell me. I hope you have a beautiful, successful, healthy 2024 with all your wishes and dreams coming true, or at least parts of them. I think aim for a simple and content life. I think that's a good North Star if you don't know where to start. And yeah, just get to know yourself and do the things routinely that you know are good for you. All right, good luck with that.